Comics of 100 Years Ago, November 28th, 1924. It's Gasoline Alley by Frank King. Wicker and Avery are chatting in the alley. Wicker appears to be straightening Avery's tie. They're standing in front of what I believe to be Wicker's garage because he has a very fancy front end of a car with license plate 868 on it. Wicker says, "Grand dinner and a fine time we had at your house yesterday, Avery. You certainly spread yourself. Glad you did say, Mr. Wicker. I want to ask your advice," says one businessman to another. They walk down the alley and we can see them from the back. It looks like Avery is pulling out the sides of his cardigan. "Money begets money, they say. Well, since I had my good fortune, a lot of opportunities have come my way. I want to tell you about one of them." And we have a very narrow panel where Avery is throwing his hand in the air, explaining something to Mr. Wicker. And now we zoom back in on them. Wicker is puffing at has pulled his cigar away from his mouth and has let a cloud of smoke go into the air. And he says, "Of course it sounds good, but solid investments don't promise 300% in a year. I couldn't advise it," says Wicker. "But he had the figures right there to prove it," says Avery, sticking his hand out. Now Avery is by himself, leaning against a fence, puffing away at his cigar. He says, "Of course Mr. Wicker thinks he's advising me wisely, but he didn't talk to this fellow, and it's just as the fellow says himself. You'll never get anywhere if you don't take a chance."